What's the difference between the fucking wood pigeon and
There's 5 notes and it's a different tone, and like the collared dove is just 3 notes. Like
I used to be able to do this years ago now.
there was lots of things we could all do years ago, Con. We're both the wrong side of 35.
Hello and welcome to Conversations with Cornelius. I'm a comedian. This podcast is about my life, my wife, my likes and dislikes, hurling, football, movies, sex, drugs and rock and roll without the sex, drugs and rock and roll. There are going to be special guests and always regular contributors, but mostly it's going to be me and my main squeeze, the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I'm your host Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, and I'm in the Fearless Digital Network studios, guys, in an undisclosed look, every week I'm getting thousands and thousands of emails. I cannot say where this place is. If we did, there would be trouble. There would be a lot of trouble. I'm not here for trouble. I'm here for peace. I'm here for love. I'm here for conversations with friends of mine. So if you really want to know, I would say probably, maybe start following me, get into a car, use your time, use your money, follow me, be patient, because I'm now going to be aware that there are going to be people following me. So I'm going to try and be putting you off the track. So this could go around in circles, right? Just take it that it's a good venue. The guys in Fearless Digital Network are doing a great job. Follow them, like and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Do all that kind of stuff. That's probably the best thing to do rather than fucking following me around the place. Because what have I done? I've done nothing to you. Literally, I've done nothing. I've just turned up. I'm trying my best, and here you are now. Just fuck off. Just fuck off, right? Anyway, very welcome back to the podcast here in the the Fierce Digital Network, and I'm going to bring on my guest now in a minute, but I just want to tell you about my last week. My last week was brilliant. I'm working up to my new show, Pull Hard. Tickets are absolutely flying for it. I'm 5 months out now from the Cork Opera House, and I'm shitting it, man. I'm shitting it. I'm absolutely shitting it. I've been doing whips, work in progress tours all over Ireland. I was in Wexford last week, and the show is starting to take really good shape now. But my support act last week was the Mind guy. He's the Mind guy. He's been on a couple of times here, and he's like, "Oh, that was great. And all I can hear are the silences. That's all I can hear are the silences in between the laughter. And please come. Anyway, what else? I was in the Lime Tree with Chris on Friday. That was brilliant, 500 people. And then back down to Wexford again, and just 3 great gigs. Wexford's class, great comedy scene down there. I did my show at the Yellow Belly Festival, and that was really, really cool. It was my second time coming back, my first time doing a full hour down there. So shout out to that festival. They run a great show every year. What else? I had something else to say. I was at a match. It was at the Bars and Castlehaven on Sunday. Great game. Football, senior football, poetry in motion, squashed into a stand, thousands of people. I made a video of it. It's up on my Instagram. Check it out. I won't tell you who won, but there were 6 goals scored. Fucking great game. Check it out. Last but not least, I wanted to talk. I'm back on the juice. I'm back on the juice. I'm juicing. Like not steroids, like proper juice, like celery juice. So in an effort to get match fit for the tour, I am juicing now every morning on an empty stomach, trying to bring the fasting back in. I did loads of episodes on early episodes on fasting. I got into it in a big way during the pandemic, but I still ended up overweight coming out of it. So does it work? Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure. In fact, I'd say it probably... it's the feasting that caught me after the fasting, really, to be honest. And I need to maybe just don't feast. Maybe just eat normally. I'm going to do the no feasting diet. That's what I'm going to do. I'm looking into that. It starts off anyway with celery juice on an empty stomach, and I'll let you know how it goes after that. Guys, you're all up to date with me. Unbelievable. I'm delighted to be back here at this undisclosed location, and I today have a long-time listener, a Patreon, a former guest, a brilliant human being, a great friend of mine, very interesting character, and we're going to have an unbelievable conversation with today. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, please go wild for Mr. Harry Hussey.
Thank you very much, Con. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone in the audience now thinks they can get anything out of me, right?
Yeah.
I'll just tell them what my day was like up to now,
Please.
right? You sent me a random grid reference in the middle of nowhere. Then 3 men came out of a van and put a blindfold on me.
Mm-hmm.
They put me into the back of the van. And we changed vehicles at least 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So in case anybody was following the van,
Yeah.
they wouldn't know.
Well, look, we
So
just
I
don't want the
know where we
location
are.
to get out, man. You know?
Do we have today's paper so I can hold it up as proof of life?
No.
I'm here, ma'am, I'm still alive. You know?
What date is it? You can just say...
It's the 30th of September,
30th of September.
2025, and I'm still alive.
Yeah, and you're still alive for the time being.
And do you know what? Actually, this will go up in October probably.
Well, it might actually even be November. But that's
Okay, but anyway, I could be in a hole. There's a lot of holes in the desert.
You could be outside there, man. We might just keep you here
Like
after this.
in the end, the Goodfellas, when they were saying there were so many holes in the desert and they were driving out. Or not good casino.
I think Casino's slightly overrated.
No. I think it's...
And I definitely think
it
The
lives in
Irishman...
It lives in the shadow of Goodfellas. I think
Goodfellas
the
is a
problem.
masterpiece.
But The Irishman is maybe not up with the two of them. It's watchable and it's good, but it's a little bit longer.
I think it's like
a bit more
De Niro
renegade.
isn't convincing as a fucking thug. Like, you know, he's nearly fucking 100.
Well, they've aged him down in CGI.
I know, but you
I
still know, like, you know,
I know,
even the
I
way he's
know.
walking, he hasn't, you know.
I know.
I'm like,
I know how he feels these days.
Yeah.
But anyway,
How
yeah.
old is De Niro?
Oh, he's 80 odd, isn't he?
I think he watches. Would you text us in your name or your age and your date of birth and where you live and
I
your
think he's in his early 80s.
early 80s? And when was
so,
that
yeah.
movie made? He was in his 70s, late 70s.
Probably.
Mid to
Yeah.
late 70s.
It was only a few years ago, yeah.
And he's playing a hoodlum.
I know. Oh, what was
Jimmy
the film he was in
Hoffa.
recently where he played... No, that was Pacino played Hoffa.
But like he was minding Jimmy, that was his job. He was like a
Yeah.
henchman for Hoffa, wasn't he?
I think so,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that
I've
was
only
his-
seen it once and it's that long, like
Yeah.
I'd need a piss break in the middle. Like,
You'd need a dinner break and you need to have a bit of sleep as well.
anything, yeah.
It's nearly 3.5, 4 hours long.
It is, it's very long. There was a trend for that for a while after that.
Yeah.
Like there was loads of really long movies. What was the one there? Was it last year? And they actually, in the cinema, they actually had an interval.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But they used to do that years ago as well.
Does our producer know?
Do-
No,
Yeah.
well, there was a film anyway. Write us a stamped
Carefully
address
word-
envelope, but not...
yeah.
Actually, you don't know
We
what
can't
address
give him
to
the
send
address,
it to,
man. We
because
can't give him the
don't know where
address.
we are.
Don't send a... If you want a stamped addressed envelope and leave it at a secret location, DM you. You
Yeah.
can send it on to me then, because I don't want to kind of it coming directly to me. Just
Send it by pigeon.
Yeah. Do you have any pigeons that...
No, but I know.
Do you wanna go
somewhere I
halves
can
on
get
a
my
pigeon?
hands. No, I'll use a wild pigeon.
Would you be... How will we get them? How will we trap them?
All those places where they come down, they're
Yeah.
very tame.
Yeah.
People feed them at the lock.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They won't miss one pigeon.
It doesn't have to be missed. It just does one job.
Yeah, bring them back.
But do you
Brilliant.
know what? It's
Yeah.
the spirit of that great pigeon that we grew up with.
Yeah.
Stop the Pigeon, Dastardly and Motley, and the Flying Machines.
No, never saw that. No,
You
What's
never
that?
did?
No, what's that? But did you
It was
see
a
this?
cartoon,
Yeah,
like.
but you see, you BBC, didn't you?
But it was RT too.
I don't think it was, man.
It was?
because I watched all of RT.
Well,
We
it's
get onto
definitely
that now in
RT.
the main
Yeah,
body of
we
the
will.
podcast, because that's what we're going to talk. We're going to be talking about the 1980s.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about our childhood, growing up in the 1980s. But before that, we have to get down to the extremely serious business of trending topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan.
Amen.
So the first trending topic, as I get my eyeglasses because I have lost my eyesight because I'm old, is hashtag presidential presidential debate.
Okay. Well, I don't know much about the debate, but I know the three
race.
candidates. Yes, I know the three candidates. And
We've got Catherine Connolly,
Yep.
Jim Gavin, and Heather Humphreys.
that's it, yeah.
Who are you voting for? Straight off the back, I'm getting you to put your flag down here now. I know this is a tough question for your HH.
I'm not going to say it, and the reason being, because this might prove to be influential. When is the election?
You think your vote is going to cast, yours is going to be the casting vote?
No, but no. I think that if I vouch for a candidate on a podcast that people of voting age will watch, I might be an influencer that way.
Okay.
They might say, my God, look, he has his...
Okay.
You know,
I
finger on the
respect that.
pulse.
I respect that. So let me ask you that question in several different ways. So,
Do.
all right. Let's start off with Jim Gavin.
Yeah.
All right. He's one of the candidates.
Yeah.
All right. Jim Gavin would be probably a candidate that I'd know a little bit more
Because of the GA.
because of the GAA.
Yeah.
He was an army man, I think, for 20 years
Yeah, I
prior to
believe
that.
so, yeah.
And he's the most successful Dublin GA manager of all time and in the modern era,
Yeah.
and proved to be an exceptionally tactical man on the field. That's literally as much as I know. But do you judge? Like, that's the thing that's wrong with Ireland, right? Is you gotta give him a job there, sure, because he's a great wing back. Well, he'll play for the next 10 years. Give him a fucking job. No, but he physically assaulted his wife there for 15 years. We fucking need a wing back. We need a wing back. That's the fucking...
I know.
So
I mean, I don't know.
enough?
Does he have political experience at all?
I don't know.
I don't know that much
fuck all.
myself. Like, I think they just approached him. I don't think he was ever a TD or anything.
But is it... He's
the youngest candidate as well. Fianna Fáil put him forward,
Yeah.
but he's only about like 55.
Like, isn't it very kind of snaky? Like, it's so... it's so conniving. Like, okay...
Well, let's be
we'll
fair,
get the
though.
country. We'll get the country crowd.
But listen, if he was the Cork manager, it might be better. Like, but,
well, he would fucking definitely win it. I mean, it just shows how...
well, it's a pity. It's a pity Alex Ferguson isn't Irish, because I'd vote for him. All right. Like,
Would you?
Yeah.
Would that sway you? Would you? Like,
No,
what's your
I'm
view
only
on Jim
saying-
Gavin? So, what's your view?
I don't know enough about him politically.
Okay.
And I'm not like you. No, I'm not really like audience. Look, I'm a Cork man. I like to see Cork do well in GA, but that's where it ends with me. I'm not like...
You're not a GA man.
I don't go to matches
No.
like you and minor and junior B and everything.
Yeah.
No.
No. And that's cool. That's
Yeah.
why I love you, Harry, because I can't have friends that are all into the same things. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, so I'm taking that from that you're...
I'd have to look into what he stands for. Yeah.
And you'll be watching on how he orates over the next couple of
course.
weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go then to Catherine Connolly.
Yeah. Well, all I know about her now is she was an independent. She was originally in the Labour Party and then she became an independent. And she would be the most left-leaning candidate.
Yeah.
And I think she's from Galway, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a Gaeilgeoir as well.
Is she?
She was a Camcorla, wasn't she? She was Camcorla.
I don't know that much,
think
no,
she
but
was.
being a Gaeilgeoir, good stand her in good
Yeah.
stead because...
She's getting my vote anyway. I'm saying it on the podcast. I'm
Yeah.
going for her, definitely, 100%. She's got a
Yeah.
heart. She's pro-Palestine.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% I'm going for her.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like her stance. I like I like her history. I saw clips of her standing up to bullies in the Dáil. Yeah, I think out of the three of them, in my opinion, I think even though it's kind of a figure, it's kind of like what good is it afterwards? Like, I mean, they make a big deal about the presidential thing every
do.
year, and afterwards, all it is a kind of, you know, if you're a state, a figurehead for the state. You know,
I know. I mean, obviously, the only reason, like anything, God knows, even though I lean left to centre myself very strongly, I'm kind of gone sick of the whole left and right and dichotomy, in the sense that things are too divided now on social media and everything. And what I would say is the only reason what you could loosely say left and right would even come in to a presidential debate would be you have to represent all the people of Ireland. So if somebody was too far in a way that they wouldn't feel this lot of people, I don't like this lot of people, don't like that lot of people, how can they represent the whole country?
Yeah.
But you have to put party politics aside out of it too,
You do.
obviously. And I mean, Michael D did that, for example.
Oh, he did.
He
It was a
definitely-
glory. But I think we've got a great track record. Like,
do
since
in the
Mary
recent times, yeah.
Robinson, Mary McAleese,
Yep.
Michael D, they've all been incredible. Like, you
They
know.
have, yeah.
And then we have Heather Humphreys.
Yeah.
Definitely a no for me with Heather Humphreys.
Well,
A big fat no.
I'm massively into wildlife.
Yeah. She likes the colour orange.
I don't mind that. Well,
Do you?
depends. No, I don't mind fake tan.
I'm
As long
talking
as it's
about
not
her. I
Trump.
think her husband was in fucking...
He was... Okay, look, I don't want to say anything on this podcast that gets me sued, right? But what I believe is, wasn't she Minister for the Environment?
Yeah,
Or something
I'm not
like
sure,
that.
I'm not sure.
And she was disastrous. Well, I'm after giving away my own position. In my opinion, as a conservationist, she favoured, like, she would have left, you know, big farms off with lots
Yeah.
of things and all that.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, I believe her husband was in charge of one of the big farming unions, or
Well, there you go. Do you know what I mean?
something.
Who's she representing? Is that
Fine Gael.
So Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil
Fianna Fáil
can go
and-
fuck themselves, as far as as far as I'm concerned. And allegedly, you're not saying anything because you're
Allegedly,
just...
I'm not saying anything, but
Yeah.
I know what way I'm voting on.
Correct.
Yeah.
Fair play. That's. I think we've fucking. I think like Conor McGregor. He was a wild card. He never got enough. What was your verdict? You think it would have been?
Oh,
Some
gosh.
people. So the far right, right? Their thing is, you know, we need to have the people need to fucking vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you've. Oh my God! Like, do you know? Anybody can just.
Do you know what's doing my
rock
head
up.
in at the moment now about this actually? And I've heard it. I don't even listen to the radio in the mornings. So I'll be working from home. But the radio would be on downstairs, and sometimes I'd come down and it'd be something like, there was somebody, and he sounded intelligent as well, which is weird. Like, it wasn't just one of the
There's
usual
plenty of
knee-jerk.
intelligent people on the right. Though.
But like, oh, I know. And look, as well, for the record, like, as well, things, there's so much of a dichotomy now. One could be slightly right of centre. I'm not talking about the way things are now, but like old school conservatives with a lowercase c, that's a valid viewpoint as well, even if I don't necessarily subscribe to it. So I'm not trying to say anything. That's the way this demonisation gets now these days.
It's more nuanced. And now you're either fucking right or you're
like there was
fucking
days,
left.
do you know, in the past you could be kind
Sorry,
of,
I
you could
shouldn't
have
be
somebody
banging
who'd
the
be a bit to the right and a bit to the left would be friends, and they'd slightly disagree politically, but they'd agree to disagree and they could chat about other things. And I think that's how things should be.
That is how things should be.
Yeah, I mean,
you shouldn't be allowed. Like, it's the free speech is under attack.
Like,
in a big way in America.
I'd be deemed a communist in America. I'm sure of it. I'm that much to the left. Like,
and I'm with you, man.
But at the same time, I believe in
Will we move to
respecting
Russia?
people. No, God, no. Russia?
Well, I suppose
Are you
if we're going to be
mad?
communist, let's go to Cuba. That'll be better.
Cuba's okay and the weather's better, but like,
better,
they're not communist in Russia, first of all, and I don't support communism either.
Yeah.
Because it's also
What about socialism?
socialism, yes,
Yeah.
but
What's the difference? What are the subtleties?
I don't know. But I mean,
Are we all sharing the same backwater? That's.
Well, we had to do that when we were quiz.
I know. That was simpler times.
And there was only two of us, and we had to share the backwater.
And we had
in
a
fact,
bat on a Sunday, whether we needed it or not.
we did the bat together.
Yeah. Well, when I was younger, definitely. But like, obviously, I'm a boy.
Not both of us. No, we didn't both have a bat together. I didn't know Conor
Not through the
about
want of
adults.
trying. Like, I mean, I'm still asking. The offer's still there. Like, you know what I mean? I'll run a bat after this if you want to.
Shower,
That'd be too
Share a
intimate for me
shower.
now. Share a shower.
and we can have we can reenact that scene from Ghost.
yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're
Yeah,
behind me.
Yeah.
So I'm Demi Moore and you're Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I think that sums up our dynamic.
Yeah. Okay. Poor Demi Moore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Lovely modern references for the younger listeners.
Yeah. There's no younger listeners.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think there's any young. If you are, send us a stamped addressed envelope. We'll give you a pin to put it somewhere.
They don't know what envelopes are if they're born after a certain year.
They don't.
No, they don't know.
That's the thing about stamps as well. Stamp collectors must be going fucking mental.
I know.
Because there's no stamps now. Like, or
they
there's like,
still bring out commemorative sets. They're still nice.
I know, but stamps used to come out all the time. Do you
They
always
do.
be like,
But the thing is, though,
they're coming rarer.
Until we develop kind of like teleportation technology or something, there'll always be room for stamps. Because you have to post physical things, sometimes
do,
like a
yeah.
parcel. You can't send that online.
You can get a courier to send it.
Yeah, but you still have to send it.
Yeah.
The thing has to be physically sent.
Yeah.
So you can't just kind of go, I'll send this as an attachment. Like you're after buying a GA jersey online and you get it through the internet as an attachment and you download it and it comes out of your
pull it
computer.
out of the screen.
Well, they might, if you put 3D printers, maybe.
I tell you, man, I wouldn't write anything off. Go back 300 or 400 years ago, this would be insane to people.
Of course
What's
it
going
would.
on here now?
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
Would be burned.
Wizards, warlocks.
Exactly. Well,
I'd love to be a wizard.
it's a load of warlocks, but anyway.
Yeah. Like, a wizard would be cool.
Except for that, well, they're only known these days for that one song they had, the Christmas song.
What was that?
Wish it would be Christmas every day.
Yeah. Oh, I wish
Yeah,
it
exactly.
would.
And that's even older than us.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
They look
Anyone
like
that's-
ZZ Top, didn't they?
A bit,
They
like, but
kind
the
of
music's
ZZ
very different. Like, but yeah,
What kind of genre music?
they
is
were
it?
kind of glam rock. weren't
Glam
they?
rock.
Yeah.
Glam rock. I couldn't think of it.
They were
Okay.
before our time.
Well before our time.
Oh, yeah.
If you grew up with that music, you're ancient.
Conda was already punk before you were born.
For fuck's sake.
Sex Pistols made the show themselves on the Bill Grundy show about 76 or something.
I don't like the Sex Pistols. Then, like, I wouldn't.
I prefer
wouldn't-
Public Image Limited, the
Yeah.
band that John Lydon formed after that.
Yeah.
Which had a lot of post-punk, interesting type sounds.
Yeah. No, that late punk scene and that early even electric scene was very. I don't know. I like the Boomtown Rats.
Yeah,
I
we're all
like
right.
the
Did a
Boomtown
few good
Rats.
hits.
Yeah. Even U2's earlier stuff was fucking.
The really early stuff when they were naive, like
Yeah.
even I Will Follow.
Yeah.
Before Bono went up his own.
Arse.
On to the next thing.
Hashtag bird flu.
Bird flu.
I saw
okay.
this trending today, and it was trending in Cork, and it had something to do with the loch.
Yes.
So, and I was like, and you're a bird expert.
Yes.
So I was like, fucking hell.
Well, I know the full story behind this because
Before I go any further, right, can you just tell the listeners, because like you've been on my podcast before and people will have listened to that, regular podcast listeners will have listened to that, but we're going to get new listeners with this, we're in with the network now, like, do you know what I mean? Don't be telling anyone where we are, but this is going right to the top. Yeah. So there could be 3 or 4 extra people watching, right? And if they're watching, can you tell them what you do for a living?
All right. For a living, I identify seabirds and marine mammals from aerial footage. So basically, they fly planes, not drones, actual planes, manned planes, or personed planes. It mightn't be a man flying it. And they have cameras on the wings of the planes, or is it the body? Probably the body. And they fly over a certain area, we might say, and they do a few transects back and forth. And then you get stills from the video, and you have to try and identify them. And depending on ambient weather conditions, sometimes the footage can be relatively sharp.
What makes you qualified to identify those?
Well, I've been looking at birds for a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
They're your obsession?
Yeah.
Passion or obsession?
Yeah, both.
When did you first start looking at birds? I just want to get into this before we go on to the thing, so
Well,
people know that when you're talking about
I had an
it.
interest in wildlife, like even I was a geeky kid, when I was in primary school even, so I had an interest. I used to go out looking at ladybirds and all that sort of stuff, anything in my garden, click beetles, every sort of thing, all the different butterflies that we had. And I'd look at birds then, but I didn't become a proper bird watcher until I was maybe 14, 15.
Yeah.
At a time when a lot of people who have an interest as a child fade away because, they discover girls or drugs or something.
Yeah.
I was such a nerd in secondary school as well. I got more into birds when I was in secondary school. But I kept it quiet from the lads.
Yeah, because obviously you don't, I could imagine that's kind of, in our era, that's kind of a thing where you would just be bullied.
In any era, it still wouldn't be a cool thing in a kind of an all-boys Cork City.
Do you think so?
Secondary school. I don't think it'd be a cool thing.
I think the kids now are so understanding, man. Honestly. I
Yeah.
think they are. They're like, they're just.
Well,
go with it.
my brother's kids think I'm a terrible nerd to be into it. They're today's kids. So
But how old is the oldest?
Well, the 13-year-old and the 11-year-old think it's very geeky what I do.
Yeah. Okay, well then I don't know any 13 or so
They're the only ones I
overrule,
know.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Tell us. So you're well versed anyway. You know.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favourite bird?
That's a question that I hate being asked.
Okay, don't
because
answer.
there isn't one. As in,
What's your second favourite bird?
I can think of other answers to that. But it's 2025. I'm not going to say anything like that. No. I just like most birds, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really like. I know I mentioned earlier pigeons.
Yeah.
The wild original rock dove, the domestic pigeon was bred from, is a fine bird. I don't like pigeons, not because of pigeons' fault. They can't help what they are, but it's this way that they exist in a limbo between being domesticated and wild. And they'll come and nearly land on people. They encourage that at the loch. The people be standing like Christ the Redeemer in Rio with food in their hands. And I'm thinking, you're making things terrible for everybody here because the pigeons will have no dread of man.
Yeah.
And they'll land and they have to duck sometimes when they fly over. So I'm not really fond of pigeons, town pigeons, but other than that, most birds are okay, yeah.
Do you know what I love, right? I love when I'm in your company. Like a great example of it is now today is I picked you up outside the Opera House and we drove over to Marina.
Hey, no, random point in the middle of a field with fucking grid reference.
That was the random. That was the random spot.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then I took you to another undisclosed random spot.
Yeah.
Down by the Marina Market.
Uploads it up. But anyway, yeah.
And because I wanted to, I get donuts for the lads here.
Exactly, yeah.
And as we were walking in, we were lost in our own conversation.
Yeah.
And then you just went, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Exactly.
What were they? Thrush, is it?
Oh, starlings.
Starlings. Sorry, that was something else. That was the scratch. But starlings.
Starlings,
and
yeah.
I couldn't hear anything else then but starlings. And
I
then you
know.
pointed one out to me.
And then you started
I
singing
was
them
like,
yourself.
Harry, they're fucking all over the place,
I know.
man. I couldn't believe it. But
They
like,
come in there because they're feeding on what the people are eating inside there, yeah.
but that's I remember when you were flying outside Coco or whatever,
yeah.
you'd be looking above and you'd be like, look, that's a buzzard there.
Yeah,
like, there's a
exactly, yeah.
fucking UFO.
Because you'd hear the other birds mobbing something. You'd hear calls out of other birds and you look up and there might be a buzzard or a sparrowhawk.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And it's like, obviously I'm not obsessed at all, anywhere, shape or form. However, I have noticed now, like, what are the buzzards?
Buzzards, yeah, you two of them you said last
Two
week.
of them circling over my garden and screeching. You did the sound, do the
Yeah.
sound.
Not quite as whistly as that, I can't fully do it, but like that's the adult type call. Juveniles are a little bit more like,
What can you do other bird?
oh yeah.
What else can you do? We haven't even got onto the fucking thing yet. No, but
Oh, what'll I do now? What can I do a good rendition of? I don't know.
what the fuck?
Common chiff chaff.
The common chiff
Common
chaff.
chiff chaff song, yeah.
What's a common chiff chaff?
It's a small little bird, kind of a warbler.
in our
Oh
warbler.
yeah, it's a common bird. Most of them go down to Not.
That's what I think a warbler is. Rick Astley was a great warbler.
Oh yeah.
Never gonna get you. Wow.
Yeah, he wouldn't be for me really. He's all right, workman like, but would he do it on a wet Tuesday night in Stoke? No, I don't think
Under
so.
lights, against the wind.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, he only really had the one hit. Really, when you think about it.
I know. Yeah, wasn't he part of that whole Stockake and Waterman thing?
Yeah.
Never like that.
No. Any manufactured
It's
thing
that
like
hit
that.
machine like that. Yeah.
They started off all that fucking. They started off with pop stars, didn't they? Or pop rivals, or rivals.
No, they were on way before that. Sure.
Or what do they the original?
Stockake and Waterman started in the 80s. Like I associate the early years of that now with people like Kylie and Jason.
But one of them,
these, you know?
one of them started. One of them broke away and started up pop stars. Or
Yeah,
something
you're
like
right.
that.
That's Pete Waterman.
Pete Waterman was it, and he used
Yeah.
to be one of the. And I used to watch him, and he was kind of a heavy set fella with glasses,
Yeah.
and his hair would be unkempt, and he'd be like watching these young
Yeah.
girls come out, and he'd be like,
You're
no.
making it sound more sinister than it
Yeah,
was.
but I
now,
look-
although then
I'm
again,
just
who
making
knows?
it sound exactly the way it was. I was
Well, of
there,
course,
I was
yeah.
judging these Bjors fucking singing.
Yeah.
You know,
But as long as it was just the singing he was judging, it's fine.
the chiff chaff. What else can you do?
Lots of things.
Do
but
one more, please.
I'm trying to think of birds that aren't obscure either. You see.
Yeah, that we'd recognise.
Yeah, you might encounter around Ireland or anywhere nearby, like not rarities or.
You see, we got a production team here now, so when you're saying chiff chaff, they might even be able to put up a little fucking.
There's common chiff chaff, Velocipus calibita.
You know, and people will be,
And,
I recognise that.
Yeah.
Recognise
And
that.
you see, the thing is, yeah, and they sound like that. And then they have calls as well. Like they look very like a bird called a willow warbler, but the willow warbler has a completely different song.
Is this an Irish bird as well? The
yes, willow warbler. Yeah,
I thought we just had crows and pigeons.
we have them too.
Willow
Actually, I can do
warbler.
some of them. I can do collar dove.
Do a collar dove.
It's a kind of pigeon that colonised Ireland in the early
Is it
late 50s or early 60s.
Is
they
it
came in.
English?
No, they came across Europe. They were originally in the Balkans and places, but they spread through the 20th century throughout Europe.
No, it's just when you said colonised, I was just.
No,
Yeah.
they were in England before they were in Ireland, but only by
Were
about
they?
5 years. They colonised there as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but they kind of go like.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
I'd imagine
Yeah.
you have them in your garden.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's very cool.
As distinct from the wood pigeon, then, which is a bit different, slightly different tone. They go like,
Pigeon. What's the difference between the fucking wood pigeon and
there's
the?
5 notes and it's a different tone, and like the collar dove is just 3 notes. Like,
I used to be able to do this years ago now.
there was lots of things we could all do years ago, Con. We're both the wrong side of 35.
Definitely,
there's things we
just
can't-
barely over 35.
Barely, yeah. There's things we can't do that we could do.
Tell us about the bird flu down the loch anyway. Look, basically you're well.
Okay,
you
what
know,
it was is
capable
that
of talking about a
it
bird
was
flu.
out in Cork BO and all this kind of stuff. And
What is bird flu?
well, okay, you see, the thing is, obviously, it's like with human flu as well, right? There are different strains, and like, you know, you ever hear before years ago the Spanish flu?
Yeah.
And that was a very virulent strain that killed
Yeah.
loads of people.
Yeah.
And then other years there'd be a strain of flu and it's not that bad, right?
Yeah,
So
COVID.
because of that, COVID is different from flu. It's not an actual flu virus. It's a different kind.
Well,
It's a coronavirus, like. It's a different type of.
Isn't it flu though? Wasn't it flu
I
like
don't think
symptoms?
the flu is a coronavirus, though.
Isn't
I think
it?
they're
Yeah.
just separate. The symptoms might be overlapping, but they're.
Do you know what I'm getting confused with now? Because I remember when COVID came out, everyone was like, "Oh, it was like the Spanish flu. They shut everything
Yeah,
down."
yeah,
And
yeah.
Maybe they did all the quarantine thing. So I'm probably
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's the response was similar, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
No, the thing is, there are different strains of bird flu as well. So what it was, again, maybe it's not why it's trending, but if it's trending to do with the loch, what it was, and I got the facts back from somebody who works for the NPWS or whatever they call themselves now, National Parks Wildlife Service. And what it was is that there were some dead birds found at the loch, and they were sent for testing, right? Now, there was a pigeon and a common gull. And by that, I don't mean a gull that is common and abundant. I mean, there is a species and the name is common gull.
Like the Commons Road.
Yeah, you'd sometimes see when they were, that's not where they get the name. No, but anyway, yeah. But there was a pigeon and a common gull and they had tested negative. So they didn't die of bird flu, whatever they died from, right? Then there were about, was it 5 mallards? Definitely there were mallard ducks. And they tested positive.
Are they the green heads?
Yeah, that's the male
Yeah.
is the green head and the female is brown, yeah.
Okay.
But they tested positive, but it was a less virulent strain. And also, testing positive doesn't mean they died from bird flu.
Okay.
If they had had bird flu and recovered and died of some other cause, that would still show up.
What was the upshot of it all then?
Well, that it wasn't the more virulent strain that would...
So business as usual in the lock.
Well, people should always be careful about, I
Shifting
wouldn't
birds.
touch a wild bird really that much. Or
Really? So if society
If you do wash your hands,
you can eat duck.
I'd eat them.
You'd eat them, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
No, I'm just saying,
I'm a hypocrite. I look at birds, but I eat them. I'm not a vegetarian. But anyway,
Okay.
are you still a vegetarian?
No.
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 Oh,
that's
sure. Yeah,
gone.
that's true. Yeah,
That's
fair
gone.
enough. Yeah.
It's in my new show. There's a story in it why I
Sure, I remember you were eating some meat. All right, yeah, you brought it back some days.
well, when I didn't eat any meat for 7 years.
No, but you'd started bringing it back a little bit, didn't you? Yeah.
Once I broke, the floodgates just opened up. Sausage rolls,
Yeah.
paninis, ham and cheese toasties.
Panini used to be football stickers, and that's all it ever was.
Yeah, with chewing gum. I used to love the chewing gum in it, even though it was like kind
Is there
of
chewing gum with panini as well? I don't
remember the
recall
long
that.
little chalky chewing gum.
That was more the kind of like there were cards, like the cards. Remember there was
the soccer cards. Yeah.
no, but remember those cards then as well to the 1989 Batman movie, and they had chewing gum with them as well.
Oh
There was,
shit!
like,
Michael Keaton. Was
yeah,
the
the
Batman.
Michael Keaton Batman
Michelle
film.
Pfeiffer.
Yeah, and
Danny
no, she
DeVito.
was in the That was the second one.
Who's
Jack Nicholson is the
Jack
Joker.
Nicholson.
Yeah.
Again.
For God's sakes, Jack.
Do you think he was a good Joker?
I don't know enough about him. I'm not a superhero geek. I thought he was good for the film that he was in, and I thought he was a good actor in general.
Yeah.
But I'm not an aficionado enough to argue about Heath Ledger or Annie Dees or Joaquin Phoenix playing a character who's very different anyway.
Yeah. I like that, and I thought Joaquin. I watched the recent one as well, which doesn't stand up.
I believe, was it the first one or the second one, got a lot of comparisons with things like, say, 2 Scorsese movies from when he was in his pomp as well, Taxi Driver and
yeah.
King of Comedy.
Yeah.
It's like both of them combined. And just to get a few extra bums on seats, they say it's the Joker.
Yeah.
But it actually might as well not be, because it's not like Batman versus the Joker.
And the King of Comedy.
King of Comedy was brilliant, but it's underrated.
Yeah,
very underrated.
I've only watched that recently as well.
Oh, it's a
De
good
Niro's
film.
in that, and then he played the character that they were.
He was in the Joker one too.
He was in the Joker one. He
was.
played the TV.
The Jerry Lewis character
Correct.
from the King of Comedy. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Hashtag kneecap.
Kneecap.
I knew trending topics with you was going to take forever, but I'm loving every
Well, that's
second
fine.
of it. There isn't a second that I haven't.
All I know about
enjoyed.
Kneecap is that they're a bunch of young lads from north of the border, and 2 of them show their faces. One of them has terrible eczema, so he has to cover his face with a nice tea cosy that his grandmother knitted for him.
Yeah.
In the tricolour colours, yeah. And that they said some stuff about in support of Palestine, and Glastonbury. Their set at Glastonbury wasn't broadcast by the BBC. Now, as I said at the time, right, why didn't they do? They missed a trick, right? They missed a trick. What they should have done is they should have broadcast the footage and dubbed an actor's voice on top. Because that's exactly what they used to do to Jerry Adams back in the day. So they should have done that, and they could have had somebody like Brian Blessed, They could have had something that I don't even know any Kneecap songs, so I can't do it. But we're like, now here we are. How's everybody at Glastonbury? We are Kneecap, and just overdub it like that, And they could be saying anything they want, but you're controlling the message then.
Yeah.
So they could do that,
They're modern day heroes. I think they're modern day heroes. I was going to make a joke about, that it's a hard bone over your knee to protect your thing, but no, you went too serious. And I was like, they're absolute heroes. I think they're heroes. Like they're risking everything, but they're risking nothing because they don't give a shit. They're just pure artists.
Well, they're hated by certain sections over in the UK now, aren't they?
Yeah. They're adored here. They're really after bringing a new kind of, like the younger generation are really becoming more nationalistic. And we saw a lot of tricolours in town today. When
I'm wary of the tricolour these days.
I mean, a little bit of a conversation about it. You were like, I don't like the way that it's...
Well, it's been co-opted, as in, it used to be a benign thing. Like, do you remember those halcyon days like Italia 90?
That's when you were
every
proud
house
to have
would have it.
Yeah.
And it was a nice kind of national pride.
Yeah.
It was wholesome. There was nothing,
Yeah.
it wasn't exclusive. It wasn't
It was
like,
the first time you were proud to be Irish ever, really, because we were...
for a proper reason.
For a proper reason, exactly, yeah.
It was, because
Yeah.
we were downtrodden, and like, they invented, I don't know, they did have colour now back in the 80s, like for all the younger people that I'm imagining listening to this.
Yeah. They're probably so cool now, they're just watching television in black and white.
Anyway, they are, of course. Sure, the way they're probably...
It's like fucking mud huts.
Well, you do, no, but
with
do you know what? You do
Wi-Fi.
get people...
Video cassettes. They're watching this on a video cassette.
Do you know,
How did they
actually,
get
I heard
it?
the VHS is back.
I'm
Hardest
not
make a
fucking
comeback,
surprised.
yeah.
It's everything that's old makes a comeback.
It does, yeah.
It's all
That's why we're
cyclical.
on now together.
Yeah, that's why this is going to be huge.
Do you ever see the show Paul Whitehouse and Bob Mortimer gone fishing? Yeah? Well, you see, RT now, if they want to fill that niche, it doesn't have to be fishing. Here we are. We're a bit younger than them, but we're old enough at the same time. And give us a show together, and we have the bands like.
And we'd be inexpensive
as the young
as
people
well.
say. Well, would we be? They'd have to pay me at least more than I'm getting for what I'm doing.
We get
now.
100 between us.
Maybe. I suppose you could.
Well, we'll
a few penny jellies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were your favourite? Do you remember when you could buy sweets for like literally there was like
Yeah, I never liked jellies much. I was more
like one
chocolate.
pence could get you something like you could.
Oh,
get,
yeah.
Do you remember the halfpenny?
Yeah.
So do I.
I do, of course.
Fuck's sake.
Sure, I'm older than you, Con.
That concludes trending topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. I had to cut it there because we're about to go into all this.
I know,
stuff
well,
anyway,
that's fine.
You know, what time have we got, guys? Has anyone idea what's left in it or how much have we done? There's no time there.
Cut all the shit footage out of it. Which means there'll be 5 minutes. It'll be a reel.
Okay, we're at 43. 43, perfect. So Harold, I. Just to give it a little bit of a backstory. So we're kind of I suppose buddies since the end of lockdown. We kind of hooked up on
a year or two after lockdown itself.
Yeah, and you're in
2022, I think.
2022, and I was saying to the lads before you came on, I used to love being in before shows that happened in the Cocoa Club, and you were there. I'd be hanging out, and we'd be talking about music, and we'd be talking about our era, like our national school era, and we grew up in the 90s and the 80s, and
I actually started school in 1979.
You started school in 1979?
Yeah, as a little baby, like.
Did you? I don't know. One second now, I was 3. There's no way. I'd say I was. There was no play school. You see, did you go to play school?
I did. I went to nursery school anyway.
Did you?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before 5 in Churchfield. Yeah.
I didn't get the luxury of that.
No, see, we had that. We had all those mod cons. Yeah.
Because you were a city boy.
I know. Yeah, well, except I'm half culture on my mother's side, so I'm okay. I have a foot
Where's your mother from?
Bartlemy.
Okay. Shout out to all our Bartlemy listeners, lads.
Exactly. Bartlemy races.
Describe. Okay, so I have a few questions for you. What I want to talk about childhood in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we'd often refer to how grim and how bleak it was in a kind of a dark comedy way between ourselves. And then I know myself with my own kids nowadays, just how amazing school is for them. They love going in. It's so varied. It's so interesting. They've got Harvey's learning how to play chess now. There's a chess club in 3rd class and he's loving it.
Actually, that's a regret I have from my childhood because I was a swatty little kid, but I never actually learned chess.
Yeah.
And at this stage of my life, I don't know what I go about.
What do you mean? Sure, you like?
But learning it, it's harder to learn things when you're older.
Well, I don't know. Is it? Is your brain bigger than this? Are you telling me that your 7-year-old brain is more intelligent?
No, but you've more neuroplasticity.
Yeah, well, I suppose you are able to retain. You're able to build those roads easier when you're younger.
You can, yeah.
But you can still build them. You're not dead.
I know that. Yeah,
you'd be great at chess. It's very.
Would I though? I'm not. I live. I don't know. I can't think enough steps ahead, and I'm my own worst enemy.
Yeah, I'm not great at the steps ahead either. I'm kind of like, but that's kind of.
But my level for that is when we went in playing all those games.
Oh yeah, they were
that
great.
time, I was able for that.
Sandbox.
Yeah, Sandbox.
Did you enjoy
Shout
those?
out to Sandbox. Yeah, I did enjoy them. Yeah,
we bought Werewolf since, and this has gone off on a tangent again. Now here I am, I'm trying to get it to the bottom of what your national school was like.
Okay.
You started national school in 1979.
Just about, the very end of it.
So what I want to talk about first of all, right, is your earliest memory of school. Whether that mightn't be like first class or high infants or low infants.
I know.
Your first memory of it. And I want you to give me a description of what a day in the life it would have been like, we'll say if it was in 3rd class, for example.
Well, all I'll say now as well, obviously, is just in case anybody is listening and we talk about things being grim. They were grim, but they weren't, if you know what I mean, because we didn't know any better. So, it's not like, my childhood was mostly okay.
Yeah.
And any reasons that it wasn't could still be the same for children today. Because obviously... Yeah, I went through a phase of my life where I was picked on a little bit.
Yeah.
Children go through that. It doesn't, I'm through the trauma of it actually.
Okay.
But, no, I can remember actually, I think one thing that I remember is that when I started school, the schools didn't have a uniform yet. They didn't have their own uniform. And I was in about 1st class, or was senior infants or 1st class, they brought in a uniform. And for 1 year, like, it was all grey, the whole thing. Grey jumper, grey shirt, grey pants, and the tie then had a bit of colour in it.
Yeah.
But then they changed that. They probably realised that even for early 80s Ireland, that was still too grim.
Yeah.
So they brought in a bit of colour then. They changed it to have a sky blue shirt instead.
Oh, wow.
I know. Yeah, because it was just too grim. Even the teachers were going home depressed. It was terrible stuff, yeah.
Where did you go to national school?
Blarney Street CBS. It's still running today. Still
running
open, yeah.
And how long? That's been going on the go. I'd imagine that school now has been on the go for many.
There was
years.
an old Blarney Street school. My dad went there and his brothers, and I think then they just changed the building and it was Skull Columkill, Blarney Street CBS. I don't know what year the new school opened. I think actually one of my uncles was there and transitioned across, like before he left school, that he was in the new school, the red brick building that they built in.
Did you get school lunches?
We got milk, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you bring for your lunch?
Well, different things. Like I might bring double-decker bar or something.
Did you get double-decker?
Double-decker. I used to like them, and I used to eat them. I'd eat the kind of more. Is it the top was marshmallow, or not? No, it was. It wasn't marshmallow. It was nougat or something, wasn't it? And the bottom was almost like praline, but back then we didn't know what praline was.
The crisp was at the bottom, wasn't it?
That was my favourite part. That was my favourite part of it.
Did you bring sandwiches?
Sometimes, yeah. Boring all meat though, like kind of like.
It was just like cheese. For me, it was a cheese sandwich. That's what it was.
Or you get
white bread.
There was a shop up at the top of the road. It wasn't a butcher's, but they did things like the big slab of ham, and they have the kind of. They cut the slices for you there and then.
Yeah.
And a bit kind of breadcrumbs on the fat of it, yeah. So I might have a slice of that, or I might have a bit of lettuce, or there might be tomatoes, or sometimes if we're very lucky.
Would you eat a tomato in national school?
I would.
Fucking hell, man.
One thing I love now that I didn't like in that era, I didn't like mushrooms then.
Yeah.
But I grew to love them from my teens onwards, I grew to like
magic
mushrooms.
myself.
Well,
Did you ever take magic mushrooms?
No, just the ordinary the ordinary button ones or the chestnut ones, which are the same one at a different stage of development or something, but they're brown.
Magic mushrooms. We're nearly in the season for picking now, so no, I wouldn't dream of
I wouldn't advise anybody out there to pick any fungus. No, I'm not even talking for that reason. Don't pick a fungus unless you can fully identify what it is and know
Correct.
that it's safe.
Correct.
Because there could be ones that look just like something edible and they're like destroying angels and things with lovely names like that.
But you can get this app now that can like just identify them.
I wouldn't trust
the
it.
app.
Would you trust your life to an app?
I've done it in the past and I'm still here.
Yeah,
and
well,
magic mushrooms are amazing.
Allegedly.
Psilocybin. Liberty caps, they're indigenous to Ireland.
Oh, they are. They've like a little nipple on the top
They
of them.
have a little nipple on top.
Yeah.
And the thing to do is to flick them. Allegedly, I've heard, flick them before you pick because you lose the spores off.
There was a time they grew spontaneously in my front garden for a year or two.
I'll drop you home tonight, man.
Thanks. We don't have them now, though.
You can walk.
Okay, fair enough.
But back to school. So you were in the city.
I was.
So did you walk to school?
Always, yeah.
Always. How far was your house from school?
Oh, very close. It was about like 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you come home for your lunch then?
No, because in primary school you don't have a long enough lunch.
Don't you? Yeah. Okay.
We won't get on to secondary today, but when I was in secondary, I used to sometimes come home for my lunch.
So tell me this, right? By your own admission earlier, you were saying you were kind of a bit of a geeky child, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So
no pretensions of being cool or in the in crowd or anything.
And I'll tell you, growing up in the 1980s in national school, like I'd identify in my own head as being into those kind of things.
Yeah.
But I would have never ever had the bravery to put them out there. I always got stuck into football and hurling.
See, you were a sporting
but
lad.
I was sporting as well.
Yeah.
But even
like when did you start playing GA now in school?
So I went to I was in 3 different national schools.
Oh yeah, you got kicked out of 2 of them, yeah.
Well, I got asked to leave one of them, right?
Did you?
But the first one, I was in Middleton. We were living in Middleton, and then my father's work got to Mallow, and I was in Mallow, and I was there. I did my Holy Communion in Mallow.
Oh yeah.
And then I kind of, through a variety of reasons, anyway, I was taken out of there in 4th class, and then I went to Ballyclaw. I had like the town, and that's where I started playing Gaelic football and hurling.
And
that's my father loves it, and he was delighted then, and I was playing in the local
And
team.
did the kids in Ballyclaw think you were, oh, look at this fella now coming from the big schools like
But you
from
know what
Mallow?
was cool, right? Or what I thought was cool, but it was just indicative of the way I would have gone through life. Because there was a lot of change. I was in Carricktool, I was in Milton, I was in Mallow,
Yeah.
and then I was in Ballyclaw all before 10, do you know?
yeah.
And I always found it as a great opportunity to reinvent yourself every time you got to a new place. So, and then even after Ballyclaw, I was only there from 4th to 6th class. I went to boarding school.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to Ballyclaw, I knew what all the cool guys in Mallow were like. So I just came out and tried to pretend to be like, now,
Is that an oxymoron? Cool guys in Mallow.
that is an oxymoron.
Fair
yeah,
enough.
that is an oxymoron. Well spotted. Very well spotted. But yeah, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So so that the way it goes is it's cultures are like Ballyclaw.
Yeah.
And like rural villages, and then townies are like Mallow and Middleton,
Yeah.
and then there's Norries. You're a Norrie.
Well,
if
I
you're
am a
north
Norrie,
side.
but I don't betray it in my speech. I'm not ashamed of it either. I'm proud of being from there. But the fact, as I say, the fact my mother's a culture
Yeah.
is one aspect.
You've got a little bit of a.
And then there was a bit of a swatty kid as well, so I wasn't really trying to be hard and cool with the bangs.
Honestly, man, I'm a culture.
Yeah.
I've always got on better with Norries.
Yeah.
Than townies
Oh,
or so. Do you know? So Norrie, right, is north sider.
It is.
What's the south sider then? Is it a sorry? Is that?
I
Like,
don't
it's not-
think so. I think that's just something they say nowadays,
Yeah.
but I don't think they have their own little name at all.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, like, again, without getting into the class struggle and all stuff like
Yeah.
that, there are some areas of the south side that have a lot more in common with what would be deemed traditional Norrie areas.
Yeah.
Like, say, out around Toker now and Barrack Street and Mahon and things. Like,
Yeah.
they'd have a lot more in common with much of the north side than they would with places like the Rochester Road.
And right. So you're saying
Well, politically, socio-economically.
socioeconomic. And what's the place on the north side that's kind of
Montenotte.
Montenotte.
Montenotte,
That'd be
yes,
kind
yes.
of that would resonate then with Rochestown and
It
stuff.
would
Is
have
that
been,
what-
but
is that
Montenotte
the
is kind of, Montenotte is,
idea you're
well, you see, the thing is, like, there's
Casting.
old money and new money as well, like, in a sense that,
Yeah.
like, places like, say, Grange and Douglas, you get people from all different backgrounds going there, and you could have people that would be like, they'd have come from the north side or they'd have come from Toker, but they'd have a good job, so they'd get a house there.
So
but
what's
the
the-
Rochester Road, traditionally, nowadays, obviously, there's fluidity with these things because obviously somebody could have the money. But the Rochester Road was kind of old money. You know?
Old money.
You kind of inherited. It was like
Yeah.
the merchant class of Cork, and the same with Sunday as well, which is also on the north side, another
Yeah.
odd little enclave, and Montenotte as well, especially. And you go up there and all these big houses up there. That would have been all the merchant classes of Cork looking down on the city below.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's mad.
I know.
It's crazy. So just back to we'll say to your school days.
Yeah.
So, you know, as I was saying, you're a quirky type character, right?
Very odd, yes.
So, and you wouldn't have, like, as I was saying, I kind of would have tried to fit in. I get the impression from what you're saying or what you're describing, you never tried to fit in. You were just completely yourself all the time.
Well-
was that difficult? Did you were saying you got bullied and stuff like that? We won't get into that.
No, we won't get into that.
But
It's
let's-
Angela's Ashes, but with video games. But anyway, no.
Yeah. Lovely.
Well, that was a bit I used to do.
it was
But no. What it was is that
what would you do? Like, because like
I wouldn't. No, you see, the thing is, it's not that I was. Don't think for a second that I was going around as this bold in your face eccentric. I kept a low profile. I didn't try and fit in and do, I'll play soccer because the lads like that, and I'll do this because the lads like that. But I also didn't go around the place steeped in my own oddness.
Okay.
I kept a low profile. I had one or two friends that I used to talk to in the yard, and
was
just
it
did my own
a
little thing.
fearful time? Because there was a lot of, like, I remember, like, when I was in Malinow, there was a fucking, you know, the fists were used, and even the teachers.
I
a
never
little
even
bit.
came near to being in a fight. Thankfully.
Really?
No.
Great.
I was beneath their contempt, maybe. I don't know. It was just weird. I just never got near being in a fight.
Yeah.
I used to just stick to myself and the one or two lads that I was friendly with who were slightly more bookish than most of the rest of the lads, and we used to talk about things or invent kind of games where we kind of like, you know, we'd be coming up with a story and kind of saying, and you do this now and we do that, and making up a story there and then
Cool.
improv almost, you know?
Yeah. Did you enjoy the education?
I did most of it.
Did you?
As in, don't get me wrong, you can only be a swat so far. It's the homework I didn't like, because if you got too much homework, then that eats into your home time.
Yeah.
And you can't watch anything on television or read a book or do something you want to do.
And you had the BBC, of course.
Oh, we had the BBC since the very early 80s. Yeah.
La-di-da-da.
We're not laddie-da.
You were fucking bringing double deckers to fucking school and coming home and watching BBC One.
And I ate a kiwi fruit.
You had a kiwi fruit?
1984, I think, was my first
Posh
kiwi
bastard.
fruit. And nobody taught me how to eat them.
Montanato, you should have moved.
Nah, I got in Cudmore's it's closed now, Patrick Street.
Kiwi, I would have fucking...
They were new, they were exotic, and I wanted to try one.
Yeah, we had apples. That was it.
We had apples too.
Yeah, that was it. Oh, did you?
We did a course of apples.
Yeah.
Sure, we didn't go on any foreign holidays except going to England twice.
That's foreign fucking holiday, man.
I know, yeah.
Like, we went to...
But you went to Spain or somewhere, didn't you?
Yeah, but that was in my teens. We're talking about like...
But I didn't go anywhere in my teens. I didn't go on a single holiday out of the country until I was 24 then again.
Didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Let's not give away the future.
No, let's not.
Yeah. Okay, so... Last question before we leave, right?
All right.
And we kind of talked about this earlier on. We played a song. I played my song.
You did.
When I was asking you to come on to the podcast, I was like, to try and think of, if you could think of a song that was kind of like the soundtrack to the 1980s. Okay. No, I know you said earlier on that you didn't have one, but since we were talking about that, has any of the synapses
What I will
connect?
say as well, in case people think I just didn't have an interest, I was watching Top of the Pops on my mother's knee. I actually got into music very early in terms of watching it. I was sitting down watching Top of the Pops from both. I remember songs that were out in 1979, watching them like Walking on the Moon by the Police and all this kind of stuff. And
sure, our last podcast we
Brick
did,
in the Wall.
It was a music podcast, if you remember.
Was,
we were talking about I think our top three or something.
Well, you
like
see,
that.
I only got into music then in a sense that properly into music. Like I was getting, now that's what I call music, cassettes in the later 80s, but I didn't actually get enough into it in depth.
They're still making those, I think.
Oh, they are. I'm sure all these things are back anyway. I think they're bringing them cassettes again as well too.
Imagine if you had was
the first one.
Was the first one? Was it Now?
But now one. Or they might even have had a number. And there was a pig mascot with the sunglasses.
Yeah. That's probably worth fucking...
I don't know if it was mass produced. It would have to be in mint condition.
Mint condition with the sleeve. Do you remember getting tapes, buying tapes?
Oh, I do.
And you'd just take out, and they'd have the lyrics.
I do.
I remember I had Use Your Illusions 1 and Use Your Illusions 2, and they'd the lyrics, and you'd play it, and you'd be like singing, and you couldn't wait till you get to the dirty word, like, motherfucker, gonna leave it on.
I never had tapes with dirty words. No,
didn't you?
No, not in that time of my life, no.
But again, these are my teens now as well, but I remember, what was your first tape?
Oh, I don't know, but it would have been like maybe one of these, now that's what I call music, whichever one was out in around 89, I got it for Christmas with a Walkman.
When did Bad was mine? I think that was 87, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to listen to this stuff. I used to listen to like Top of the Pops or...
Tape and tapes, did you ever do that?
No, but what we did do, but it's later. I remember
Careful now, because there could be guards watching this, man. I'd say allegedly.
If I got a cassette...
Yeah.
And I was afraid in case... Do you know sometimes the machine would chew it up?
Yeah.
So what one could do is...
Yes.
If one had a grandmother that had a double tape deck.
Yeah, could be a possibility.
Record from one cassette to a blank.
Yeah. Double decker, we used to call it in the trade, allegedly.
I used to eat them. Yeah. But then one could very readily do that and keep the other one as well and play the blank one. So that the original one would survive.
Yeah.
And if that one, if the copy got chewed up by the tape recorder, it didn't matter.
And then 50 years later, boom, sell it for twice the price.
Maybe.
Profit.
I'd like to know where any of the cassettes are now. Cassette, like I don't have a cassette.
When they would get caught and you'd put the biro into it and you'd be twisting it.
There's or a pencil, one or the other. Yeah.
You could just, they were.
Do you ever do this with it? You do like a football rattle and you turn it around like that just to make it faster.
Yeah.
That's how we got our steps in those days.
So you don't have a soundtrack?
Not massively, and I used to love music, but I didn't get passionate about it until the 90s and beyond.
Yeah.
But
what were you listening to? What kind of songs?
Well, whatever
can you
was on the
remember?
radio, but I remember loads of different songs on the radio, of course.
Yeah.
But I could be very pretentious then as well, and I can make up some stuff now. Like, I mean, critically acclaimed albums that wouldn't have had hits that I didn't hear at the time because they weren't being played.
Frank Zappa's 15th incarnation.
I never got into him. I mean, he's good at what he does, but I just never got into him.
I used to have a friend, he was an artist. He'd be painting and he'd have like loads of easels all over the place. And he wouldn't go out or anything, but he'd be like, come on away over, and he'd put on Frank Zappa, and like, he'd be painting, like he was really talented out, like really, really talented. He'd be doing something, and then I'd be doing like my Matchstick Men and The Hills, and he'd be like, wow, man, that's really good. But we'd be listening to Frank Zappa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should listen to him to do a bit of sketching. I still do a little bit of sketching too, pencil sketching, yeah.
Yeah, are you good at it?
Workman-like.
Workman-like, yeah.
Workman-like. I don't do it enough to improve though.
Yeah, well, you know yourself now, at your age, there's no point, because the brain isn't working,
there's no point.
You know?
All that awaits us is the oblivion of the grave.
And with that, guys, we're going to leave you with today's beautiful episode of Conversations.
Peace and love to everybody.
Harry Hussey. God bless. Staying by the wall. Good night.